Hello, I'm Derek John Johnson. Today's video, I want to be talking a little bit about my views on cancel culture. Most videos on it either go it doesn't exist, you're all just whining over nothing, nobody's ever been canceled in the history of ever, hoi hoi hoi. Or, it is the worst thing ever, and everybody who does it is Hitler and trying to destroy innocent men who did nothing wrong. You should never cancel anyone ever. I'll give a wee bit more of a nuanced take on it. Being that it exists, but it's nowhere near the problem people like to make it out to be. And to prove my point, I'm going to list one person who was canceled who actually stayed canceled and not of their own volition. Colin Kaepernick. Yet none of these cancel culture people ever bring him up. He was a football player who decided to kneel for the national anthem as a protest for the racism that he and many other people of color faced in the U.S. at the hands of an oppressive and violent police system. And what was the right's reaction to this? You guessed it, to treat him like he was fucking Adolf Hitler mixed with Joseph Stalin, when with extra evil just dumped in via fucking 18 cement mixer trucks. Even the president was fucking shitting on him at the time because he wasn't being patriotic enough. And you know what? If your entire patriotism is wrapped up into one fucking piece of goddamn fabric, your love for this country wasn't that strong in the first place. Sorry to break it to you. And to be fair, there were others like Louis C.K. who jerked off in front of other women and admitted it. Oh, and Harvey Weinstein, who was a serial rapist with around 100 or so victims. And that's probably a conservative estimate, considering how long he was doing rape by coercion for jobs. But as for people who cried about being canceled but weren't really canceled, DaBaby, who made homophobic remarks and yes, was removed from musical shows as a result of his own actions and refusal to actually acknowledge what he did was wrong and sincerely apologize multiple times. Here's the thing. He still has a career. He still has a huge fan base. Yeah, he might not be getting, like, several number one hits, but he'll still make money for his family. He'll still have a popular career and people who will die on the hill of defending him no matter what. Then we got Dave Chappelle, who, keep in mind, who's still booking shows, who's still got a die-hard audience, who will fucking treat him like he's goddamn Jesus 2.0 and that you're not allowed to criticize him. Despite the fact he literally defended a fucking hate cult that's entire ideology is predicated on trans people being an evil, horrible... on trans people being an evil, horrible threat to real women. And that we need to take away all their rights to be trans and force them to live an identity they don't personally want to, so that they can feel better, and downplayed them, and even implicitly defended them. And when people rightfully criticized him on it, You got a bunch of fucking transphobes crying in the comments, "You're just being oversensitive. Cancel culture. You're canceling Dave Chappelle. He's a hero. How dare you cancel him?" And while yes, there are others who did go better, like Scott Cawthon, here's the thing. I saw barely anybody who wanted him to get canceled or wanted his career to end. Most people just didn't want to personally support him anymore, and here's the thing. If people don't want to buy your games, that's not you being canceled. That's just people choosing to not support you anymore, which is perfectly fine. But here's the thing. Every time somebody's crying about cancel culture, it's always talking about a right-wing figure or somebody who got canceled for being bigoted. Because most of these people don't actually care. They just like it when people say mean things about people they don't like for dumb reasons. Or when they trigger the left. Because it's not really about people being canceled. And while yes, there have been attempts to cancel smaller figures, which is bad, over simply posting things that they didn't like that weren't even necessarily super bigoted or anything, then yeah, that's bad. But here's the thing. Most of these people aren't talking about those people. They're talking about people like Dave Chappelle, like Dan Schneider. Well, not Dan Schneider, but you get my point, right? It's not about cancel culture. It's about people feeling entitled to have people support people who are bigoted. Lots of video every day. Bye.